Midas and Fame, yeah. No shortcuts.
Here to give you motivation and a little bit of inspiration.
No shortcuts.
We in the boss ain't easy. Every day somebody needs me.
It's no shortcuts.
I wake up stretched, say a prayer, coffee and then some fresh air. Time to get it poppin'. I got a fresh 24. Hopefully I'm blessed with plenty more. Meanwhile, I'm thankful for the fire on the inside burning. I keep earning as the world keeps turning. The thing about life is you never stop learning. Hoping everybody Maxwell, Vernon. You make a plan, then you stick to it. Even in tough times, get through it. So get to it. And make sure your family's straight. We going worldwide, you understanding me, mate? Providing a platform where like minds can meet. Closed mouths don't get fed, want everybody to eat. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Tuesdays at noon, let's all get rich. It's no shortcuts.
Tell a friend to tell a friend about the No Shortcut Show.
Yes, y'all. Greetings, salutations. Welcome to another installment of the No Shortcut Show with Midas and Fame. You guys come on in. Make sure you say hello. Let us know that you are here. Let us know where you're watching from, your city, state, whether it be national or international. I know we have some UK following, some following in Canada. We have some following in Japan. So if you're fortunate enough to catch this live show right here at noon on Tuesday, December 12th, come on in, say hello, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to share this on your individual pages as we begin our show here. And if you're over on YouTube, shout out to you. If you're over on Facebook, shout out to you. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to Instagram. If you are on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button.
Yes, please.
Help us continue to grow our platform at the No Shortcut Show. We welcome you. Come on in.
Thanks
What's
for coming.
good, famous?
Good afternoon. Good morning for those in Cali. I know Miss Rhonda will be watching soon, probably.
Eggs, no nog.
That's right. What up, James Masters? Thanks for coming in, my brother.
I got former guest of the platform, producer. If you want a video made, he can hook you up. You need a music video done, I call him the one-stop shop. Mr. James Masters, thank you for joining us so faithfully. We appreciate you. And Famous, do you need to put that link up for our Facebook users? For those who may be first-time visitors, so when they comment, you guys feel free to comment. Don't be shy.
Head to that link right there if you need to. Ecamm.live/connect. That way, when you do comment, your name can pop up instead of it saying just Facebook user.
Yeah. And happy holidays, season's greetings
to everyone. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah. We working on it. We working on it. We slowly entering the holiday spirit. It's like sitting by the pool in the summertime. You got to work your way on in there. Start out with a foot, then you get your lower half. Then, we working our way into the holiday spirit, though. But definitely happy holidays to everyone out there. We understand that it is lunchtime. We appreciate you joining us. If you maybe work from home, if you're at home or you're at the office in your cubicle, whatever your particular daytime arrangements happen to be, we appreciate and we thank you all so much for joining us. What episode are we on now?
This is 78, man. 78 episodes of this show.
Yeah, we've done this 78 times and we plan to do it 78 more. So thank you all who have taken this ride with us for two seasons now, and don't forget to join our No Shortcuts community on Facebook. This broadcast airs live there primarily, but we also are growing that community over there so we can continue to network with each other. As we were speaking in our virtual green room with our guest a little earlier, we were saying your network increases or helps add on to your net worth. You know what I mean? So please join.
This guy used to be a rapper too.
A little bit. I still put the pen to the sheets occasionally.
Yeah.
When I haven't done it lately, I might be a little rusty. But hey,
I doubt it.
We always try to offer a good word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What was your weekend like, man?
Changing. Well, I just wanted to say real quick that the
Oh,
weather's changing, and we know we got these chilly nights, so I'm sipping some warm cider, trying to the scratchy throat, trying to bother me a little bit. So if y'all see me
yeah.
like eating a Ricola cough drop or two, you know what I mean?
It's all right.
Don't take it too hard on me. But my weekend, man, let's see. Recap the weekend. Friday night, I was in Harrisburg, North Carolina, with Mr. Charles Page and the Groove Masters. They had a there was a couple's Christmas party for the church that he attends.
Mm.
And he reached out to me a week or two ago and asked me, he was like, well, we need a keyboard player. Are you available? I said, looks like I am. So that was open. So I went ahead and did that, man. And it was real nice. And it was a jazz trio, keys, saxophone, drums.
Hmm.
Yeah, the hot tea.
Get the
Whoever
hot
you are,
tea.
Facebook user, appreciate you.
Get the
We'll
hot
catch up
tea.
with the name here in a moment. But yeah, so it was a couple's Christmas party, man, and they had food. We played some live music. They played some games and things like that. Really, really, really nice for their church group.
Yeah.
And Saturday night, my guys, Mellow Groove, not to be confused with the Groove Masters, my outfit, Mellow Groove. We did the Rock Hill Country Club Christmas party, our third year in a row.
Hmm.
Doing that for them. Great time again, food, live music, people dressed to the nines, and shout out to one of their members there, man. He's a legally blind gentleman, but every year he has somebody walk him up when we're setting up. He gets
Hmm.
there and he's like, I got some requests. So I
Yeah.
was like, let me look at this list. It was typed out and everything. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I saw 2 songs out of about the 10 he had on there. And I was like, I see we got a couple songs on there that we're going to do. I'm not going to promise you we're going to do all 10 of these because we got to stick to our set list, but we'll get a couple of them done.
Yeah.
And Sunday, I was out at Mount Dewell Baptist Church in McConnell, South Carolina, where I'm the minister of music there. And we had a lovely time, man, getting into the Christmas season. The men's choir hosted on this past Sunday, and we did our rendition of the Temptation Silent Night, was on the
Nice.
set list for some of the music. So great weekend. I'm just trying to, get over the little
Yeah.
itchy throat thing. I feel great though, like I was telling you. So
Hmm.
that's a plus. At least I feel great. But you got the little nasal and throat issues going on. But
Yeah.
therefore I'm drinking my warm beverage, and we're going, everything's gonna be all right. What
That's right,
about
man.
yourself, Mr. Hat Trick Swayze?
Hey, man. Yo, it was a busy weekend, but before I talk about the weekend, you just reminded me when you said that Temptations record. We
Mhm.
did. I told you last week we did the. I do the prison ministry on Mondays, and last Monday we did a Christmas meal for
Okay.
2 different dorms. So it was like
Oh,
300 meals. We had them come in an hour each, and they came in and sat with us, and we were able to have lunch with them. We had a meal
nice.
catered in, but the worship team, the prison worship team, they were doing the entertainment,
Oh,
during the
okay.
lunch, and they did that Temptation
Nice.
Silent Night too. Yeah, they
Yeah,
killed
so
it. Yeah, they
it's
killed it.
classic, man. Once you hear that in my mind, you already
Yeah.
know what time it is.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to those brothers, man. They do a real good
Yeah,
job. We've been working with them, for the past few months of building their own worship team. So it's not so they're
nice.
really being the ones, you
Yeah.
know, providing the service, and we're just kind of there to
Okay.
support them. So that was pretty cool
Yeah.
to see
And shout out
them
shout
do
out to
that.
you as well for the
Oh man,
diligence and the work that you do with the prison ministry and things like that,
thank you,
man. So,
brother.
we definitely gotta, give you big props as well. So,
Yeah, thank you,
and
brother.
Christmas time is a great time to eat food, sing
Yeah,
songs, and D all of the above.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
bring a little cheer to someone.
Yeah,
That's what
but it
it's
was
all
a it
about.
was a it was a three-peat weekend, like you said, a hat trick, man. I did a
Yeah.
holiday party, a corporate party on Friday in Charlotte, and
Hmm.
then wedding on Saturday in Monroe at the Grand Victorian, and I had a second wedding. I didn't do it, but Cedric did it on Saturday as well. We see your
Hmm.
name now, Miss Francis.
Oh,
Thank you
okay,
for
mom.
joining
There's
us. Now
mom
we
keeping
got
that
it.
perfect. Mom, you know what it is? It's the internet trying to hate on your perfect attendance.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you
And
still
then we
get your
had
gold
a
stars.
had a wedding on Sunday as well, so it was a busy weekend. And now we're back, man. We took Monday off to recoup a little bit, and
Yeah,
now
it
we're
seems
back.
Tuesday to Tuesday is a blink, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it comes on it. It comes for sure.
Yeah.
Be Tuesday all over again. Like Jay-Z said, we're gonna do it again.
Do it again. 12 p.m. We be on the internet.
Yep. Yo,
What's goody?
I gotta tell you about our guest today, brother.
Tell me
I know
about him.
we're not gonna stall this thing any longer.
Okay.
This gentleman right here is the executive director, if I'm saying this right, of Young Men for Christ.
Awesome.
Also producer of the Bro Code TV Productions. And they are doing really big things. He has an amazing story that I can't wait to have him share with our audience.
Absolutely.
Let's put some ones in the chat, put some hand claps
and some
up, put some
applause.
salutes up, some applause
Yeah.
for our guest, Mr. Troy Johnson.
Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen.
What's
hit those
happening?
hearts, hit those likes, and some comments
Yeah,
in the
put some
chat.
lights and hearts and all that in there for us.
Yeah, boost that
What's up,
algorithm.
Troy?
Hey,
What's
Troy.
happening, famous? Midas, what's good, fellas?
Man,
Christmas to y'all, man.
hey.
This is
It's
a
a-
light skin revolution right here.
Yes, we're back.
Light skin is
Oh,
taking
so
over.
We are back.
hey, listen, I thought they said it wasn't going to be televised. They were wrong.
Yeah. Kanye tried to make sure we didn't come back in style.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Take it over, baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
what's
sir.
up, man? What's up?
Yeah.
We're so glad
Pleasure
you're
having
here.
Good to see y'all, man. Good to see black men smiling, laughing, doing great things, excelling, progressing, man, and just
Yeah.
and thriving in the world, man. These are the stories I like to hear, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Pleasure
Thank you for
having
that,
you with
man.
us today.
We love having you, and I've been watching what you're doing, obviously, and really appreciating the work that you've been doing from the very beginning of it. And we're gonna get to that, but this is that show, man, where we kind of bring people on and
Yeah.
tell them we love them in public and give them their flowers, you know, because
Flowers,
you're
yeah.
doing some really big things out in the Raleigh area specifically. But I just love what you're doing, and now it's just become global, man.
Yeah, that's it. I love that word too, man. Words matter. Keep speaking that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're
that's
gonna
a
get
fact.
we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of it, but of course first we like to give our audience a little bit of background. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, what your childhood was like growing up, things like that.
Yeah. So I'm 43, so I guess we got to go back a little while. Born in
Yeah.
Jersey, grew up in Atlanta. I like to say that I have the best of both worlds. You know, a slick tongue, and I'm a Southern gentleman. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I like sweet tea, and I like being on the stoop as well. You know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, nice.
moved to Atlanta when I was about 12. Raised by my grandparents, single mom. Grandparents really played a pivotal role in who I am today. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of the things that they poured into me then didn't mean a whole lot at 12, but it resonates, man. I'm really
Yeah.
thankful for those seeds and them really putting that into me. It really helped me with the gumption. Some of the things that I do today because of those things I learned. My grandfather lived to be 101. Like, he was
Wow.
old,
Wow.
and he was a higher up at Kmart. You know, when Kmart was big. And I
Kmart,
remember-
yes.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
I remember him as a kid being very much so leadership. Watched him go to work in a suit and tie every day. And now with the work that I do now, I understand how that made such a big difference in my life,
Mhm.
indirectly.
Mm.
You know, so presentation matters, representation matters, and I'm just thankful for that, you know. Making that transition down to ATL was different, but it was good, man, because I got a chance to see that era when Atlanta music became Atlanta music. I got a chance.
Oh,
to
like
see-
Outkast and all of that.
Yeah, Cass,
Yeah.
Goody Mob,
Goody Mob.
CeeLo,
Yeah.
and the whole Dungeon Family, Attic
Right,
Crew.
right.
Man, I really got a chance to be in the midst of that.
Mhm.
Freaknik, I really
Yeah.
got a chance to be in that space. And I was young, and I shouldn't have been in some of that stuff, but I still got a chance.
Right.
Right.
To watch the transition of music. It was really dope to be part of that.
Yeah.
And you know, after that phase, man, I went into working for the government, man. I got a chance to travel the world, man. I've been to 5 of the 7 continents. You know, I didn't go to college. It wasn't I didn't feel at the time that it was for me. I'm always going to be a forever learner, but I didn't think I would excel in that space. I didn't like school and it was free, so I really didn't understand paying for it, but I did know that I wanted to learn. But I'm thankful that I had options. I think that's one of the most valuable things you can have is options. And I was able to be part of a government job, man, that paid well. It allowed me to travel the world. A blue collar job working on merchant vessels, basically floating Walmarts that carried fuel, bombs, and everything in between. I was a navigator, and my vision at the time, my goal at the time was to be a captain. The captain would come on deck and everybody saluted the captain and everybody got all tight when the captain got on deck.
Yeah. Good posture.
That was my goal. Obviously, my goal and God's plan different, and that didn't last but so long. It was a stage of my life, but I'm thankful for that. The other stage of my life is sales. As you can see, if talking is a problem, we ain't got one. I always had the gift of gab, if you may, and just really learning how to structure that in a way that I used enthusiasm and right time decision making to solve a problem, curate conversations, as well as close money deals on multiple levels. That was there. I met my wife. She's my administrator. That's how I met her, man. She worked for me before I married her.
Okay.
Fraternizing. To say the least, there was some wild times. If there was ever, to put it lightly, if there was ever, as a man, we all have fantasies. Those were some wild times, man. That was a good time, bro. I'm thankful for that. That really built me into who I am today. And she's been taking care of my money a long time, and I'm thankful.
Wow.
So
hold on. Let's go back a minute, though. Let's go back. We're gonna get to the modern day. What's up? Cornelius Kirk is joining us as well. What's up, brother?
Shout out to Rhonda Badikian.
1/3 of the Bro Code Show.
1/3 of the Bro Code. Yeah. Tell Cornelius I wore your shirt on here a couple times too, man. The love shirt that I ordered from him. And Rhonda's here from LA as well.
Good morning, Rhonda.
Good morning, Rhonda.
Yeah, former guest of the platform.
Troy. So tell us, we're going to go back to the childhood a little bit, man. So I know you were heavily into the music scene, but what else was some hobbies, some things that you did, coming up as a kid? Yeah, and what was it like, as you said, being raised by your grandparents predominantly?
Oh, man. Highlights, I don't know, I played football. My first sport was soccer. I was a real fat kid. And my mama thought that if I ran up and down the field, I'd lose weight. That didn't work. But I did like the orange slices at halftime. That was nice. That was totally amazing. That's what I lived for. But I was a reckless kid, man. I was the only child, man. I was the only grandchild for 21 years. So everything was about me.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I had a fun childhood. I grew up in, being born in New Jersey, we lived in a very diverse community. One thing I could say that looking back now and being raised by my grandparents and the ecosystem and space that they had me in, because it's all due to proximity. I was living diversity before it became cool. Like that, it's just the way that I grew up. It was innate. It was a part of who I am. I'm thankful that they put that in me, both directly and indirectly, like how you treat people. Why it's important to understand your value and who you are, whose you are, and whom you are. And I appreciate that those were the seeds and the things that were planted in me at a very young age. It was a struggle because, my parents weren't married. And oftentimes as a young person, I kind of would wonder where my value was. I couldn't articulate that at 12 because at 12, having conversations like we having right now, brother, weren't common. So,
facts.
Now being able to recognize that, and then now that be part of who I am today and how I serve in the community today, man. I'm really thankful that I was able to have those experiences.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome.
Go ahead, Midas.
Oh, I was basically going to go back and ask him the same thing as far
Oh,
as,
okay. I thought.
the same thing that you did as far as like his interests and a little bit more about, the things he was into as a child before, I think you went to like 12 when you were, where you went to Atlanta at age of 12. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I had the same, we were on the same
Okay.
thought pattern, Fabian.
So, any other jobs before the government job?
Man, bro, first job was at Red Lobster. I
Yeah.
was a fry
Oh,
cook.
the
I
cheese
was
biscuits.
anything fried, I was cooking it. Lawrenceville
Yeah.
Highway, Decatur,
Mhm.
Georgia. Never forget it. I actually got a shirt on my Decatur
Decatur.
shirt.
Oh, Decatur.
Yeah. But that was my first job, man. I was playing football. I'll never forget. I always laugh about it with the fellas. Those times were a little different. I was very much so mischievous. You can't fault me for that. I
Yeah.
think the statute of limitations is up by now.
That's
so we don't
right.
talk
Yes,
about
yes.
it.
That's right. We can talk about them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I'll never forget like crab legs, everything, man, and trying to think I'm gonna hold it off for the night out and tuck it away. I get back to my tuck spot and the ants done ate up all my crab legs, man. I'm hurt by that thing, man. I just knew I was gonna have me about 5-6 pounds of them good
Right.
thick Alaskan crab
Yeah.
legs. It didn't quite work out that way.
Oh,
Right.
that's all right. So,
Drug Emporium, that was another job.
Uh-huh.
I got fired from that one. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it was plenty.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so something happened, and you were working the government job and then the sales job, and then you start to see yourself doing something differently. Was there like an aha moment, or was it just a series of events that led you to think I should be doing more? I should be doing more things in the community. I can do this.
Well, I think it's a culmination of all those things, man. When I look back, I was I left the government job, decided to live a life of monogamy, and wanted to do it with a sense of accountability. With the government job, I was gone 8-9 months out of the year,
Right.
and I wasn't built that way. So,
Right.
wanting to really give my all in this stage of my life, coming into marriage, I decided to get a shoreside job. One of the first jobs that I got when I came back shoreside is actually how I met the other third of our bro code team, JC,
Okay.
at an investment company. And working there, I'll be honest with you fellas, it was hell. I mean, I've just left a job that allowed me to travel the world, and wherever I laid my hat was my home.
Mm.
I lived a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And all of that is now has went away. That stage in my life, I had to figure out that wasn't my purpose. I was living in a space where I was just going day by day. It was death by cubicle. Like every day was a harm to myself, my family, my surroundings. It was toxic to myself and those that were around me. It just spilled over because, it wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I believe that was God's way of just continuing to put a thorn in my side. I really do. I look back at it now, and that was they say purpose is birthed through pain. Well, I was going through some moments, and it was hurting, both myself and those that were around me on multiple levels. And that was the unction, and that was the push. So I went from an investment company to a banking company, thinking that one was right around the corner from the house. I'm like, oh man, I got it now, maybe we good. And there was even more hell in that space than it was the one before.
Wow.
We're for losing. So
Yeah.
that's where it happened. To answer your question, Trav, I got into a space now where I was serving in church. It was the first time I'd ever taken on a role as an armor bearer. I had no clue what that was. I had to go read David and Saul and so much other stuff and really empower, educate, and answer some questions that I had. I had to show myself approved. The leader that I had at the time, he's deceased now, was really helping me in that space. I was newly married and I didn't have it all together. There was a lot of selfishness in me. But it was that culmination of all of those things that really got me into a place where I really felt like I I was being pushed and unctioned. There was a fire burning inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And because I did sales earlier on, I always had that fire and that spirit. I could talk about anything. I just needed something to talk about.
Mm.
And that's where it happened. You know, I started to put more energy into it. So it was an 8 to 5. I would wake up at 5 in the morning, pray, stretch, go work out, and then go to the office when no one was there. And for the first 2 hours, me and Google became best friends. I started to educate myself. I started to get into forums and ask questions. You know, I started to use emails and things of that nature. I just became a student of the game. You know, I started more in the how can I serve space in nonprofit space. And that's where conflicts and resolutions and all of those proper paperworks came into play.
Right.
5 o'clock, when people left, I would go sit in the car, I'd call my wife, and then 30 minutes later, when everybody left, I would go back inside. And I would stay there until 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And we had access to about 20 printers, and I burned them things right on up.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
And that's how it happened, man. That's really how it began. And then when I wanted to take the leap away from corporate America and really jump into entrepreneurship, I had to come up with a plan. So I put together from beginning to end a 12-week summer program. And my vision, what I asked God for, was to allow me to have 30 paid students and 10 to 20 vouchers, right? The vouchers guarantee money, right? Where private pay, you know, obviously they pay weekly. You know, we serve such an abundant God that he did that and so much more. And that was the catapult, the summer funds, that was a catapult to say, okay, now you have this lump sum. And I say lump sum because oftentimes with the vouchers, they didn't come until months later. It all came
one time. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was the catapult.
Yeah. And that's, that's what led to the Young Men for Christ.
Right. That's where, that it started. We had already been doing sessions as far as mentor sessions, but I was still working. So the mentor sessions we were doing every Tuesday, and to serve underserved youth from the age of 7 to 17 through life skills, character-based education, physical activity, really giving them the medicine and the candy. You know, hey, this is from a biblical standpoint, what is honor, accountability, love, and respect, kindness? What is that mean, and how does that add value to your life? And we would just use simple concepts. The first one I taught them was how to use a charcoal grill, right? You got the temperature in the front. I would use basic concepts like that to teach them temperance, right? Like, okay, if the fire gets too hot, what happens to the meat? And just really understanding how, okay, well, I know this instruction manual may seem old, but it's a living order. Like, you can find principles in the same space that speak life into you. And you can use common things to do that. And again, put the medicine in the candy.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Facts.
And I just wanted to say, I like that even when you got to a place where you felt like you needed to do something different, where you said, you know, pain helps you determine your purpose, you still were proactive, you know, and educating yourself in the meantime until you found what you wanted to attach yourself to. So that's to be commended, because sometimes we, as people, we desire a change, but we don't change anything, you know, about as far as our day to day, and we may sometimes have the tendency to just think something's going to fall in our lap, which isn't the case at all. You got to be proactive. So I salute you for being proactive as you figured out your next step, for sure.
No shortcuts.
Yeah. No shortcuts. Hey, we're going to have to do a collage of all of our guests that have done that.
Yeah, you know? For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important to, you know, and then you recognize, you know, what you needed to work on with yourself as well. And I told you I was going to pull this one up there because I want you to talk about your health journey, man, because it kind of happened around that same time that you were discovering where you wanted to go in life. You were also discovering what you needed to do health-wise. And, you know, you had to get yourself there, you know, mentally as well as physically. And it's an amazing journey. I want you to talk to our folks about that as well.
Okay. Boy, that's a smooth brother right there.
Yeah, look at him. Look at that boy.
That's the overweight of the heavy tea.
Heavy T.
Yeah, man. We talk about the weight loss journey, man. That is a holistic thing. That really, in this piece of me becoming a new version of myself, like reinventing myself and making those hard decisions to live a different lifestyle when it came to health, is the catapult into purpose. So again, it started from the inside out. I saw a change in me that was tangible, because you could look in the mirror. I think the most invigorating moment that I had, and just to take a step back for those that are listening and watch this, let's put it into context. In 2011, I had gastric bypass surgery. So on purpose, I chose to turn my stomach from that to that, right? To the size of an egg. I look at myself as a modern day Frankenstein. There's still scars in my abdomen to remind me of what I chose to do to myself in 2011. My prayer was, I said, Lord, first I want to be under 200 pounds, but whatever you do, don't let me have a gobble neck, all that.
Yeah. All of that. The looseness, we don't want that.
Nah, we don't want that, man. I'd rather just stay fat. But that was my greatest prayer in the moment. And again, we can laugh about it now, right?
Yeah.
And I think we should, right?
Yeah.
It's
honest. It's honest.
But that was a journey that I'm still on it. That was 12 years ago, and the first year was pure hell because you got to think about it. Mentally, I was still fat, man. I've been fat for 31 years. Then all of a sudden, now I've made a body formation to now go into a different direction. Mentally, I wasn't there, man. I still like pound cake and pepperoni.
Yeah, man, I tell you, all of that good stuff.
And that was counterproductive to what I've done to my body.
Right.
And I conditioned myself. I put myself through a lot of dumping syndrome, some things that really were counterproductive to the reason why I chose to go under the anesthesia and the knife, because I wasn't mentally prepared. And that was a heck of a transition. Again, I talk about my wife, anyone that you've ever, I'll speak for myself, but in most cases, men, when they allow someone close to them, especially as a woman, they have a very unique way of motivating them. And it's only a way that they can do it. Like can't nobody else do that but her. And, it was something I needed. It was a harshness that I needed, but it allowed me to, one, stop feeling sorry for myself. And I remember being curled up in the bed, man, in the fetal position, man, just hurt. And I was like, I didn't ask for this, guy. Like, bro, something need to shake. So, at one time, only cold watermelon would subside me.
Really?
It had to be cold watermelon. And
it's good too.
So, but now, bro, like, man, after I got over that first year, that's when the shift had to happen. I've always been a rebel. I've always had to do it a different way. I've always been cut from a different cloth. So I'm not the Planet Fitness guy. So once I got my feet underneath me, and I lost 150 pounds in the first year.
Wow.
A year after I had the surgery, I got married. Famous was the DJ.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, I'll never forget, like, my mom was 10 feet away from me, because you got to think about this. I was 475 pounds. I had surgery, and now all of a sudden I decided to get married. Now, no one saw me between the time I was 475 pounds and the time that they met in North Carolina for me to get married. All they know is that I had surgery and I was fine.
Right.
So I finally show up to the hotel and I'm 150 pounds lighter, right? In less than a year. A lot of people looked right through me because they didn't envision me looking that way, because that wasn't how I saw it last time.
Right.
Wow, man, now it's invigorating, bro. I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai kickboxing. I remember 2 years in, I thought I was going to be a cage fighter. Like, I had put it on the list. I said, I'm going to do an amateur cage fight. Now,
wow.
Like
MMA or UFC type of stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And God said, you better
Yeah.
get back
I
and
try
start
to,
working with these kids.
I'm
Well,
trying to get famous to get into them.
he knows I'm hard
Go ahead.
headed, so he blew my knee out. I
Oh,
had
Mm.
to get 4 cups of fluid drained off my knee. Well, them dreams went out the window after that.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I've been trying to get famous to get into those slapping competitions.
no, sir.
he keep turning it down.
Oh man, I'll be one and done. Hey, Juan.
We're gonna stick with it.
Juan said he had gastric bypass in '07, and I can definitely relate and empathize. And you were an inspiration, man.
Yeah, Juan, former guest of our platform, and Juan just had an award too, I believe. What was it? Celebrity Cruise
He'll tell us in a minute.
Chairman Award. Yeah. Put it in there, Juan. But we want to congratulate you. I forget verbatim what that award
He'll
was
put his
called.
phone number in there too in a minute.
Yeah, put your phone number and the award in
Go
the
ahead
chat.
and start selling, Juan. No, but Juan says seriously, how do you see yourself today, Troy? Do you still see the big guy, or have you changed your mindset as far as how you view yourself?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Well, first and foremost, Juan, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Continue to take it one day at a time. It's definitely a journey, man. Not so much today. As I was transitioning, I remember being able to wear an extra large, but still wearing the 3X because I wasn't mentally there. I didn't see myself as that. I said one of the most invigorating moments I had in my weight loss journey was the moment I walked into Big and Tall. Burlington Coat Factory. They have a 10 by 10 called the Big and Tall section. Well, for a large period of my life, that was the only section that I could shop in. I'll never forget the day that I walked in there, and I went back there because that's what I normally
Just
do.
natural.
Yeah. And then I looked around, and I was like, "Yo, I don't have to be in here no more." You know, I don't. The whole store is mine. Like, I felt like Nutty Professor, spandex, all
Yeah.
You know, so now being able to, I go into a store, I pick up a large shirt, and I go buy it. I ain't gotta try it on.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't even have to go to brick and mortar anymore. I can order online. And I couldn't do that before because I didn't know how it was gonna fit.
Yeah.
Right. You got to try it on, make sure, in most cases, make sure it's going to be what you're looking for and fit you properly. But that's a good point. And that was a great question, Juan.
Great question, Juan.
Because I guess the mental and physical have to meet up in order for everything. Interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Faye.
And that award you talked about with Juan is the Celebrity Cruise Line Official Lead Partner 2003 for 1 billion selling company. Billion-dollar selling company.
Yeah, so
and
Juan is our resident cruise planner, vacation guy.
Juan, let me hold something, Juan.
Hey,
notary.
There it is. There it is, right there.
I'm trying to get $5 to January 15th.
Yeah. So Troy,
and if you got some specials, Juan, I was gonna say, Juan, if you got any holiday specials, where you could offer a No Shortcuts promo code, feel free to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah. And shout out to Katie joining us from the Big Easy.
Yeah, she was used to follow us on That's My Story. She's an artist as well, doing her music and everything. Big shouts to her. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining. We are talking to Troy Johnson. We were talking about the Young Men for Christ mentoring program, and I don't know if you said this. So your first session, how many kids did you get initially?
Great question. So just to the dynamics, we met initially at a local church. The local church is inside of the community. So just to paint the picture, there's apartment homes as well as single family homes, and the church is in the middle of it. What I did, right, being smart cookie. Remember, I was burning them printers up, right? So I was burning them printers up. I got them flyers. And then I became my own street team. I went up to the apartments, and it just so happens that apartment at one time was an elderly community, and that's all that was there. But when the public housing sector in the city of Raleigh started to close down, that population of people had to go somewhere. Well, however it happened, I don't know how, that elderly community turned into an income-based apartment, and the dynamics of the whole neighborhood changed. I'm not going to go through all that, but at the end of the day, there was multiple kids just walking around aimlessly, having nothing to do. Yeah, anything that you could think of started to progress from trash to break-ins and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. Just because idle hands, idle mind. I get it. I
Yep,
was
fact.
mischievous too. So I started to beat the ground. And I promised them basketball and pizza. Bible says to
Mhm.
compel. And so to answer your question, the first one we had 12. Then I challenged them to go back and tell a friend. And I shouldn't have
Mhm.
done that, but I did it anyway.
They brought a bunch back.
Yeah, man. It was like, yo, Mr. Troy got pizza.
Basketball and pizza. Yeah, he got that hot pizza too.
And all they had to do was go down the street. It was in the same
Yeah.
neighborhood. So it
Right.
wasn't like, they could walk. They could walk
Yeah.
down the hill,
Yeah.
literally. And that's how it started, man. And, it started taxing my pockets. And I was like, yo, I got to figure this out because I can't feed these kids every week. We was doing it every week.
Yeah.
Remember, I've always had the hustle spirit. So that's when I would go back into the office and I mapped out all the pizza places within a 10-mile radius of where we do our
Partnerships.
program. And then I wrote it down. I figured out who was the manager. I call up there and like, oh, I need to complain. Who's the manager? So, what's your name? And then I would go up there and be well dressed and present myself very accordingly. And I played my law averages, man. I'll never forget. I found 2 of them that bought into the idea of what we were selling and what we want to do with these kids. And those were our first 2 sponsors. And
Wow.
Yeah.
I took that blueprint and was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would imagine pizza spots have things that they looking to donate to for promo purposes and things like that as well, huh?
You would assume such. What we have to understand is that they're ran by people, and all people are individuals. So though it is a franchise, I found people that shared the same heart as me. Light attracts
I
like,
got you.
and it wasn't a whole lot of communication that was involved in it, man. And I present myself well. I'm a natural born salesperson. I know presentation is key. Think about my grandfather going door to door and running a business. All of those things, traveling overseas, all of those things were preparing me for, as grandma would say, a time such as this. So, like, man, all of those things now that were selfish, were self-indulged, or potentially passions that I used to gain me were now being used to help and further others, man. And I truly believe, I know this to be a fact, that there's an energy in that space that cannot be reduced.
Yeah.
And that's what was starting in that moment.
Yeah. That's great, man. And how many years has it been now for Young Men for Christ?
June next year will be 7.
7 years. Wow.
Yeah.
I
and I saw on the listing some of the things you target, like coping skills, emotional well-being. I saw a few things. You want to touch on any of that at all? Like, how do you guys, I guess, as far as your mission, how you deal with those young men, and how you're trying to, what place you're trying to get them to, as far as what you guys do.
Indeed, great question. So the whole purpose is to pour in holistically. So our 4 cornerstones are love, consistency, opportunity, and exposure. And we really believe that those are the cornerstones that we build on. Everything starts in love because trust is built through familiarity, right? So the first thing we build with them is trust. How we do that is to be consistent, man. Show up. That really is the cornerstone. And do what you say you're going to do. A lot of the youth that we serve, as far as the population, are used to being let down, or maybe having some wolf tickets, or being promised something and not following through. So we believe that's the easiest way to build trust. So that trust is first built. Once that trust is built, we now share the love of Christ in creative ways. So what initially started as classroom style teachings, when we started 7 years ago, has birthed into creative learning in vibrant locations. So we broke out of the church for a few reasons. One, all the kids that we serve haven't had the same encounter with Christ that I had.
Right.
And oftentimes, as a child, I was living off of my grandmother's faith until I found my own. And I didn't want someone to say, well, I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of that because I don't go to church, or I don't understand that, or that's not something that's part of my everyday activity. So I was challenged to be able to go out in the marketplace. So we started programs that did that, like the barbershop talk, where, okay, how can we bridge the gap or be a bridge between our brown and black kids and law enforcement? And then unction conversations that can be curated and palatable to all, and be that neutral space. So my grandfather actually helped me create that program because we went to Mr. Eddie's barbershop every 2 weeks. He had to be first in line, which means that as an 8-year-old child, I had to wake up on Saturday morning at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Because
Get there as he opening the doors up.
But we remember those conversations, though, fellas. Like, I remember he was bald-headed. He wore all white. He had a black belt, patent leather shoes, and he lived on top of the barbershop, right? In New Brunswick, New Jersey. There was a Krauser's right down the street from it. I knew I was going to get me a hot butter roll and some cocoa. I knew it was the nuances that I knew as a child. I was going to get me some Laffy Taffy and some of them, some candy and some Jolly Ranchers, and Sour Patch Kids. Like, I knew that was part of my Saturday experience. So I took that same vibe and was like, okay, well, how can we introduce courageous conversations in the barbershop to help bridge gaps with that same energy? Yeah. So golf, video game design, football, boxing, community service activities, field trips to DC, to fishing, taking on families to say, we're going to do love on you. You pick 2 wants and 2 needs. We go by it and we get the kids to rap it as a way of showing compassion towards others. You know, those are the activities and those are the principles that we do through real life activities, like real time. You know? So, man, I'm thankful that now, you know, with COVID, obviously everything has shifted a little bit. We focus now on social, pro-social activities, like how you spoke about normalcy, like getting a little piece of normal back. How can we promote interactions, social interactions that are positive social interactions towards children? And this is their words, that feel socially awkward, and allow them to be kids, like in its raw essence of being a child, and not having a care in the world, but do it in a safe, vibrant, effective, authentic environment, and set the stage. And the work that we started 7 years ago has allowed us to be in that space because there's trust that's built in the community. We have an ecosystem of over 150 families that we put these resources out to, and we become a trust. So that way, if we don't have that service, we have sister companies and brother companies that we connect with that are trusted, that we now can, you know, get not just pass you off, but send an email and say, hey man, this is a person I really want you to connect with. So thankful for that.
Yeah. And I got a question for the parents out there. You said kids have, I guess, confided in you that they may feel socially awkward. Have they described the circumstance that allows them to feel that way, or is it just like a culmination of things in your opinion?
Well, I think it is a culmination of things. I do believe we have equipped our children with lingo that is convenient and conducive. Whether they
as an out, so to speak, kind of
fully what they're saying or not is the argument. However, I do believe that there's a positive in that. Well, because I believe self-awareness is the greatest gift, right? I believe understanding who I am, whose I am, and whom I am is the gift that will continue to keep giving. Because I also believe that the more I can pour into my cup, it allows me to pour out good things. Because I want to make sure that the fruit that comes into the world is on good ground, it's on fertile ground, and that allows the ripple effect. So, you know, I am excited, though I do believe that. You know, we came up in a different generation, man. We were told to suck it up, buttercup. Like, you know, it was resiliency wasn't something that we were taught. It was just something we lived because you know what I mean? Because we were told, hey. But what I found out, man, is and what I've seen in these children, man, they are really tapped in. They are really in tune with how they feel, and more so wanting to be a help and service towards other man. It really, really, really is exciting to know that I've embraced what it means to have the heart of a servant. And then for a kid or a child or a young person to be able to see that in real time, like it warms my heart to be able to plant that seed. Like I just had a kid that's a second year in Fayetteville. He started with me in 2017, Cartier Stuckey. He texted me yesterday. He's a sophomore at Fayetteville State now. And, you know, out the blue, man, he made me cry, right? So out the blue, and this is why I do what I do, man. He out the blue, he said, Mr. Troy, I just want to say thank you. He said, you may not hear it enough, and people may not say it enough, but thank you. And thank you for what you've done for me. Thank you for what you continue to do for the community. He said, I was at a gala yesterday. This is him talking. I was at a gala last night, and the speaker said, we serve because of those that have answered a call before us. And he said, man, I appreciate you for answering that call, because if you didn't, I wouldn't be able to serve the way that I serve today. Man, I about broke that.
That's impactful. That's impactful.
Wow.
Because you as a servant leader, you do the right things for the right reason, and you don't worry about the impact, because that's the right thing to do, right? And and oftentimes that can be overlooked. It can be unappreciated, and you don't expect people to come back and do anything. That's not why I did it. But when it does circle back around, man, when it does, it warms your heart. It really does.
For sure.
You say that the work is not in vain. That's the tangible representation.
I agree.
That was actually going to be one of my next questions. If you had any success stories, or someone who's not in the program anymore, and have they reached out to you and what they're up to, and that's a perfect example right there. So that you already knew where I was going. That's awesome. And shout out to Juan. Juan recognized when you said Krause was in Jersey, and you said Butter Roll, so he knew another Jersey guy right there. And shout out to Anita Morris, who just joined us
Anita Morris for joining us. Anita? Hey, Anita, put your ice cream cart page. That's who I was telling you guys about. She just started an ice cream cart. Put your page in the chat so our community can follow you over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. We're talking to Troy Johnson. These are inspiring stories. We hope we're inspiring you as well. And Troy, we also wanted to take some time to talk about the Bro Code.
The Bro Code.
Talk to us about the Bro Code, man. When I know you said you met JC, first. How did the idea? Where did the idea of the Bro Code come from? And what was the original plan there?
Yeah, man. Well, at the core of everything that we do is service towards others. So all of us met in that space first. Yes, I met JC through working at an investment company. Once I left that, we stayed in contact. I continued to move on with life and going through banking and things of that nature. But when Y4C started, he was right there with me, man, helping me with some of the classes with the kids, so on and so forth. Social media is a great tool if you use it correctly. Or use it for great impact. And that's how I met Cornelius. I met Brother Kurt online. At that time, he was one of his older monikers, Mr. Whatever It Takes. Now he's Mr. Mad. But in that stage of life, he was putting out a message online that was positive. It was showing impact towards self-reflection, how we treat others, and he had an audience that was geared towards youth. Well, hey, we're in this youth space. So I watched him. I watched him for almost a year, because you can be whoever you want to be on social media, right? So I wanted to see where the consistency was at, and then I just reached out and was like, "Yo, let's have lunch." So I interviewed him, and I treated him to lunch. I wanted to read his body language, basically, So after that, we were doing meetings with the kids. I invited him to speak, because now I wanted to see what you talk about in real time. And told him the premise. He knocked it out of the park. That was, how long ago was that? That was 5 years ago. So that's how it started. And then all of a sudden, we started gaining traction in that space. We had created programs in the faith-based community for churches, after-school programs. We started doing contracts and on the beginning edge of the Wake County public school system and infiltrating the juvenile justice system. Like we were on a roll in that space of circle emotion, social emotional learning, circle group activities, and really speaking to their hearts from the inside out. And then we were in our pro bonos, or excuse me, we were in our pilot program with the school system in our 9-week program curriculum. We had done all that, and then March 13th, 2020 happened.
Yeah.
I know that the world was put on pause.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it, fellas. We're 3 years into doing this work. All of the services that we did were in person.
Right.
They were all
right.
Yeah.
Right.
There was no Zoom. Like, we know what Zoom is, but we were
right. But you weren't on it like that.
Like, we didn't have to.
Right.
So anyway, man, I'm thankful that we're in that age range that we appreciate and know a time before Wi-Fi. But I'm old enough to appreciate the great things of it and use it as a tool.
Right.
And know it's an asset. So we got busy. We figured out Zoom. We built a team of leaders. We went virtual, turned the programs that we were doing face-to-face, we turned into 40-minute virtual programs. It expanded us into Miami, into Chicago, into New Jersey, because everybody was on the same playing field. Any kid that had a medium like this, we could serve them. Downside, we weren't prepared for it. We didn't have the infrastructure for it, nor we had the capacity for it. From March to October, we were burnt out. I didn't want to see another Zoom ever again.
I could imagine.
Wow. So we finished the contracts that we had with those that were out of state. And then we said, hey, let's follow CDC guidelines. That's when we started doing programs outside. And we follow those same blueprints now, even 3 years later after COVID. So golf, video game design, boxing, and the barbershop conversation. Those are the 4 programs that we stick to monthly on Saturdays and every other Monday, or once a month on a Monday.
Yeah, that's great, man. I brought up a couple pictures so you can talk about some of the people that have also participated in the Bro Code show. There's you with Ninth Wonder.
Yeah, that guy Ninth Wonder.
Well, I didn't talk about how it started. So Bro Code started because 2020 hit and we were like, hey, we have a vision of starting our own TV show, but we didn't have enough time. We were doing all this. So I brought up COVID because it allowed time, because we were all sitting
at home trying to figure out stuff to do.
So that back burner idea was brought to the forefront, and we started just like this, man, on a platform called StreamYard. We didn't have a clue. We didn't know what we was doing. We were bringing up music and it was getting flagged. Like,
there you get flagged.
No clue. But what really helped us was the service work. We didn't have to fight for guests. Why? Because for the last 4 years, people knew us for doing dope stuff. So if they weren't, we asked them for a conversation. Come on, I'd love to hang out with you. Guys are amazing, So. It was at the. I'll be honest with you. We started pain. Purpose is birthed through pain, right? So we started because we felt as strong Black males that were serving in the community on multiple levels, we didn't have a large enough voice. Well, it pissed me off, and because of that, I said, well, we could do something about it, or I could just continue to be pissed off. So we decided to do the latter. We decided to control our own narrative. We decided to say, you know what, the best bet that I'll ever have is one on me. So
bet on yourself.
That's what we did. And it was shaky. We had no clue, but we were willing to try. We were willing to figure it out. 42 episodes later, what we didn't like about these mediums is the care and concern that we put into mic systems and lights and stuff like that. The guests don't always do that. Why? Because they can show. So and
they're just coming through one time. Typically,
right. So it's not their baby. I get it, but it again caused a pain point. So we decided to bet on ourselves again. We started to hire a creative team. We started to hire videographers, photographers. we started to go to colleges and build interns. We know you guys need reps. We need help, and we ain't got no money. So we need to figure this stuff out. You know? So, and I can't pay you what you're worth, but I can compensate you your time.
Right.
And that's how we started curating and building the team, by having conversations like that. We had built a platform that was valuable by doing it the way that we started, and getting reps. And we did that another 42 times. That was season 2. That now was in person. So you showed Ninth Wonder. We had the privilege of sitting down and speaking to the Phenom, man, and talking about Winston-Salem, and talking about Central, and talking about working with Jay-Z. And it's so funny.
Rhapsody, all of those. And for those at home that don't know, Ninth Wonder is a hip hop producer. He started out. I first heard him with the group they started in North Carolina, Little Brother, underground, type of backpack rap group. And then, from what I understand, Jay-Z's engineer, Guru, came across their music, and then Questlove got familiar, and then they brought Ninth Wonder in to record on Jay-Z's Black album to make music for that. And then that led to Beyonce and then Mary J. And now he's got his own situation, so on and so forth. He's also a professor. I forget what college, but he teaches a hip hop class and all of that as well. So So
you own it, brother, right there, man.
I'm a musician artist, so I got to know these things. I'm like you when you was when everybody left and you went back in to Google. I'm like that when it comes to music and stuff. So I just wanted everybody at home to kind of have an idea who Ninth Wonder is and who we're talking about.
Yeah, he is. He's a living legend. He is, man. Don't forget, he's a sneaker king too, man. Like this dude has his own shoe. And he actually made it with KD. You know, he actually tells the story on the show. Go check out the podcast. The show is on he signed it too. So I bought a pair of those shoes knowing that I was going to see him.
Okay.
And I got him to sign the shoes on the show. And then I got him I said, I don't know when it will happen, but I need you to help me get to KD, because I don't want to tell the story of the shoes, but one of the shoes is made just for him, and the other shoe is made just for KD.
Okay.
So go watch the episode. Like on the bottom of the shoe is the train system of where they grew up on each one of them.
That's dope.
The colorisms of the shoe are masked to tell a story, and it's opposite. One of them says Ninth Wonder. The other one says, was it Sniper? What's KD's
Sniper. Easy Money Sniper.
Easy Money Sniper. There you go. So
I got to pull my picture.
He tells the story about the shoe, and he tells the story about making the track for Jay-Z on the Black Album.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to pull my pick with Ninth Wonder out sometime. It's somewhere in my archive. Before I even had locks, I met him in Charlotte. He was guest DJing at a spot in Charlotte, but he had already worked with Jay-Z and Beyonce at that time. You know, had been listening to his music for a while, but real cool guy, man. And I heard he had done some stuff. He tried to get the remix Nas and stuff, the Lost Tapes one time, and he kind of shared with us Nas wasn't too enthusiastic about, actually doing that type of thing. But it's all good. We love Nas, Jay-Z, all the hip hop greats,
Also, Troy, recently you got a chance to sit down with Nate McMillan, legendary NBA player and coach,
formerly of the Seattle Supersonics during them, right, with Gary Payton in those years. And former coach. Was he coach in Portland?
Yeah.
Most recently, before Chauncey got the gig. Okay. But Big Nate McMillan, man. Legend.
The last one was Atlanta. He was down there.
Yeah, he was the coach in Atlanta.
That's right. In Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, man. Nate is born and bred in Raleigh. So his 25-year career, we got a chance to sit down and really talk about that. It's very philanthropic. He has a foundation that he is opening up and fostering now to support kids without fathers. He loves his brother, and his brother played a pivotal role. Randy McMillan played a pivotal role, and that's actually how he started with basketball, was through his brother.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
So we actually just did that. The picture itself is at Union Station, which is the train station here in Raleigh. And they do a whole lot of events there. We actually interviewed him in the station. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. You know, but the journey of video podcasting has taken us to some really dope places. You know, the things we're talking about are in front of the camera. You know, there came a time where, and you guys talked about your episodes, man. We got to talk about ours, man. We've done the in front of the camera portion, regardless of how we've done it, whether it was online or in person. We're 179 episodes in. And, you know, the plethora of people we've talked to, whether it be from the judicial system, entrepreneurship, sports, music, judges, counsel,
so on and so forth, huh?
Yeah, man, we're really thankful for that, man. And the beauty part is that was reps, right? We talk about reps, doing push-ups, building that muscle, and becoming a great interviewer, and setting the stage for having courageous conversations and getting people to feel comfortable doing it, like to share their story. I believe we pride ourselves on that visual storytelling. And then eventually, man, it shifted. I don't know if we're ready to start talking about that. Where we started to come behind the camera.
Yes. Let's talk about that, please. I got your flyer right there.
Yeah,
all the different services that you guys provide now.
Nice. We talk about pain, right? Well, when we start these platforms, and I'm preaching to the choir now, Midas.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, the choir got to listen up too. They can get something out of the message.
Indeed. You know, we start these platforms, yes, the goal is to impact others, but at the same time, where the dollars at? You know, how do you transition your gifts, talents, and anointings and things that you do well to monetize them and create a space of fulfillment on multiple levels? And that's the space we initially came on. I'm thankful that from a visionary perspective, we came on with the vision of looking at it as TV. You know, like we use those words of TV, like this is TV. Like we're focused on TV. And to me, what that means is it needs to be sexy. Like it's got to be dynamic. It's have to have, you know, eye catching, you know, and pull you in. And that was the approach from a creative standpoint that we took from day one. I'm thankful that coming into season 3, we then bet on ourselves again. We structured as a business. We then started to build business credit and leverage that. Now being able to invest in ourselves to now get cameras, lights, take classes to educate ourselves, as well as build the team to create a production team, a juggernaut.
Very nice.
And that's basically what happened. So in the last year, we have worked and developed corporate clients that we work behind the camera, such as American Cancer Society, local churches, several red carpet events, and of course, several banking institutions.
That's awesome.
We have harnessed the power of visual storytelling and doing it with a spirit of excellence. And we're thankful for that, man. Like we truly believe the best is yet to come. The now being a dual-edged sword, if you may, where we can now offer services in front of the camera, whether that's interviewing, on camera, off camera, as well as explainer videos and things of that nature, red carpet, or coming behind the camera and producing commercials, whether that be from a corporate standpoint to short reel content or long reel content. And even now taking the reps that we got through video podcasting and producing the Bro Code Show to now foster those skills in other productions. So coming into 24, we'll be producing the Bro Code Show, another show called Community Spotlight. We created that show as a way to really focus on people in the community that are doing great things and have great stories on multiple levels. As we also monetize storytelling. We do that as an off-camera interview, kind of like Vlad.
Yeah.
So you don't
Oh,
see.
okay. You just see
hear
the person that the subject that you're talking to, right?
and all you do is hear Vlad's voice. His
Voice,
voice is
right?
iconic. So I
Uh-huh.
took that same concept, but what's the twist? Because we got our own swag. I still set up 3 cameras. The only difference is that one camera
Different
sees the
angles.
whole room, right? One camera sees the whole room so you can see the production. And the third camera is just another angle. I use it in multiple angles. Another angle of the client, and then I'll turn it around and you will see the interviewer every now and again. But
Okay.
you're not on the screen all the time because it's not about you. It's
Yeah.
about
Right,
art,
right.
you know?
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
and then we do a photo shoot while we're there.
Mm.
The photo shoot is live while the conversation is going on.
Oh,
So
okay.
so we combine the photos,
Candid.
the professional
Candid
photos,
photos.
and the real-time conversation to create a community spotlight.
Wow.
We always do a customized intro and a customized outro using the B-roll and the photos from the shoot itself. So therefore, it's always about the client because when the show comes on, that's what you see. You see
Yeah,
that
very
person,
nice.
you know.
Very nice. Yeah.
Third show is Wellness is the New Cool. That style is similar to this right here. We believe in, and based on the research we've done, we don't believe in creating a wheel. There's those that have come before us that are already doing what we want and aspire to do. So one of the things and nuggets that we got, and I admire you guys and continue to do it, is to have a show that's just about us. We're not interviewing you. It's just about us having conversations, candid conversations, vulnerable conversations, transparent conversations. Why? Because once they fall in love with us, doesn't matter what show we put out, right? Because they fell in love with you. So you could be involved in whatever show that's on there. They want to see what you have to talk about because they follow you. So
Yeah.
one way to
With
do
that
that,
being said,
be
we're bringing our
transparent.
show over to the network.
That's it, man. And then
We'll
the
talk
last
off
show-
camera.
Yeah, and then the last show.
Collaboration is cool. Collaboration is cool. Pardon me. Go ahead, Troy.
No, man. I again, man, fellas, we're there's no need to reinvent a wheel, man. Like a lot of people that have come before us already have a blueprint, and you know, I'm thankful that being a student of the game, you know, being a forever learner. Like one of our mantras is always teaching, always learning. You know, we live by that, and that helps us continue to move forward. So you're absolutely right, brother. In the last, we have taken on a project for an outside entity, meaning that this is a young man that wanted to create his own show, and we started it for him from the intro, the outro, to the logo, building the platform of the conversation, as well as how it's shot, called Blurred Lines. That'll come out February 1st. Greer Webb, he is a Morehead Kane scholar from UNC that is now in law school down at Emory University. Remember that name. He will be on a ballot one day. I don't know what the next ballot, but as far as the title, but he will be on it. He lives and travels in a space that many can't. His calling is in that space of the intersection between religion and politics, and that's oftentimes blurred, a little dirty. So that's why it's called Blurred Lines. And he interviewed 8 of his most impactful mentors that have helped him and continue to help him along the way. And we're talking about some juggernaut people, like really juggernaut people. We produced that for him and are in the midst of producing that for him now. It'll premiere February 1st. And then the last one is one that any health therapists out there, if you're listening, tune your ears in, because we have a show called Heavy is the Head. I say heavy is the head. And the vision for this show is to break down stigmas, barriers, isms, phobias, and bias as it pertains to the mental health space, and asking for help, how it adds value to your life, but more importantly, finding out the why of those that serve in that space. My goal is to fill a space of access as well, because oftentimes we hear, I don't know. Well, now this show will be interviewing just mental health therapists, very diverse from all aspects.
Hey, man.
So that's what 24.
I love that already, brother. I love it. Hey, you didn't know this part yet, but my wife Emily is preparing to go back to get her master's in the fall, and her concentration is going to be in mental. She's a nurse now, but she's going to be in for her master's. She's going for mental health. So she's definitely going to be all in on that show for sure.
Yeah. And it's important, we grew up, sometimes in the stigma as men or as African American men, you're not really taught to consider your mental health.
Yeah.
So I think that the conversations of regarding mental health in this current climate are great because it allows those who may be experiencing some type of trauma to go back and revisit and unpack some things and become a better person for that. So that's awesome.
And Midas, what does it look like for that to be a space of normalcy? Not I'm going to check in with Doc today. Like that, it just becomes part of our daily regimen. Like I go work out. You know what I mean? Like that, it just
I think it's great. I think it's great because obviously people are experts in that field for a reason, and I think it's great that as we continue to get rid of the stigma, because a lot of people want to just throw the word crazy around if you got to talk about mental health things, and I don't mean it doesn't translate to crazy,
right?
There's I would say points on the spectrum, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just need to unpack whether it's certain traumas or certain things, and some of these things that happen to people, they couldn't even help it. It's not like they did something; things were done to them. So to make it normal, I think is great, man. Just to check in on your mental health, because if your mind's not right, nothing else is going to be right.
That's it. That's it. We all we got, bro. As Black men, I really would encourage, man. I know we got to get off this subject matter, but for those that are listening, man, pour into yourself.
Oh, my man Doc is joining us, comedian, new to the community. He was an understudy of the legendary Dick Gregory. Thank you for joining us, Doc Diakis Love. Yeah, therapy is a lot like carrot cake. I didn't catch the rest.
It's way better than it sounds.
Yeah. Hey, it's time. This time of year, that fruitcake going around too. Y'all
I don't know about that one, nobody.
That one.
Who passing that fruitcake around?
Fruitcake is the opposite. It sounds like it would be good, like a fruitcake.
Yeah, y'all remember that episode? I think it was A Different World where nobody wanted the fruitcake, and the whole episode, the fruitcake is getting passed around, and then it's back up to the originator. Nobody wanted the fruitcake.
No. Yeah, that's a culture thing too.
That's not changing.
There's too much going on in that fruitcake.
Yo, Troy, we really appreciate you taking this time, man. So let me ask you this: couple last questions. First off, if anyone wants to be in contact with you, they want to reach out to Bro Code TV Productions. Maybe they have an idea for a show they want to pitch at you, or just be involved in what you do, and how could they be in contact with you?
Indeed. So if you're into dialing the phone, 919-714-9905. 919-714-9905.
Serious inquiries.
You get it wrong, 05.
Oh, 9905. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're into the internet, please go to our website, take a look at some of the work that we've already done. Please like, share, comment, go to our YouTube page, check out the whole ecosystem. You could do that at BroCodeTVProductions.com.
So what about your
BroCodeTVProductions.com is the website. 919-714-9905 is the phone number. Let's have a conversation, man. Everything starts that way. We do travel. So, hey, if you ever need some type of production, some type of video, photo shoot, need to create some type of short form content, long form content, or looking to refresh your website and things of that nature, please, whether you're a faith-based community, a small organization, or a corporate client, we would love to have a conversation, do some type of vision casting call, and help you bring your vision to life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And what about your
Let's do that.
socials?
Oh,
Just
yeah,
Troy
please.
Johnson.
At Broco Show, at
Mhm.
Troy Jermaine, all lowercase, at
Mhm.
Broco Show, all lowercase, at Troy Jermaine Johnson,
On
Facebook,
Facebook.
Iron 4C,
Okay.
Instagram, all lowercase, Young Men, the number 4,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Christ. What else? Yeah, man, reach out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Tap in.
we got
So
it
tap
covered. I'm
in.
gonna follow
Any
you
one of
on.
those platforms, whether it's an inbox, email, or anything in between, we would love to have a conversation, man. Talk a little bit more
Absolutely.
about the journey.
Yeah, this is a great
Absolutely.
conversation. We got a
My
couple
mom,
comments from Miss Francis. We do
yeah,
need to
I'll read it.
unpack what's
Oh,
happened
go ahead.
to us. Emotions are normal. No one should be allowed to express them. If more people would feel free to deal with their emotions, we would all be better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one should be allowed. Should be
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That's a
she
whole
had
other
something else.
conversation. Creating spaces that we feel comfortable, where
Yeah, God is.
vulnerability and transparency can become normal.
Yeah.
And God is concerned about our mental health. Jesus had emotions, and it didn't diminish who he was. That's
That's
facts.
right.
That was the shortest
facts.
verse, right? You just wept.
Jesus wept.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, that good. That tied it all in. Hey, okay.
What's your
Doc
IG
wants us
one more
to
time, Troy?
the IG.
My personal IG is at Troy Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine spelled just like Jermaine Jackson. Troy Jermaine Johnson, all lowercase.
Pop it
Yeah.
right there. Perfect. I'm popping on the screen now. And then our final question, Troy, is always, concerning our audience, hustlers, entrepreneurs, people that have a good idea, have a dream that they want to chase. What advice would you have, or something that you learned along the way that will be helpful?
Believe in yourself. And execution is key, man. Like anybody can talk about it. Execution is key too, and I would challenge you to double down in that space. Why? Because then there's no fear of failure. Because you're doubling down on the space that, okay, we're going to make it happen. What happens and the results of what happens we'll take that as a lesson. So double down on executing. Double down on making it happen, and then revise.
That's awesome, man.
Great.
We appreciate you so much for joining us, man. I know it's been a long time, and I always had. I said I'm gonna reach out to Troy one of these days. I'm gonna get Troy on the show, but I know you had a lot going on. You were busy. I said,
Well, I appreciate you reaching out. It was fun. Hey,
Yeah.
I look forward to it again, man. Different forums, different spaces, maybe even a platform. How many people can you get on the screen?
we can get a bunch. I think we've done 5.
Yeah,
We've done
at
5.
most. Yeah.
Okay, well the next one we're gonna bring the whole bros, so that way you can hear the story from their perspective.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's
that'll
do
be
that.
awesome. That'll be awesome. Yeah. Because
do that.
and we allow guests to come on not just one time. If you got something new, we had to cut one in half and do a part 2. And if you got an announcement to make or something like that,
Come back.
come here first, definitely. But if you got some more to your story, want to bring the other guys on, we definitely arrange for that to happen for sure.
Hey, love to do it,
sure.
man. Y'all continue to smile, be blessed, thrive,
Got
man, and looking forward to bigger and better things in 24.
Got to do it.
Everybody, make
I
sure
was
y'all share this episode. Make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube if you haven't done that at No Shortcut Show. If you know someone that needs to hear this message today from Troy, put their name in the comments. Tag them, add
Put it in
them.
there.
Tell them they need
Send
to watch
it,
this
share it.
replay.
Yeah, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, hit that join on the No Shortcuts community. Before I get out of here, I just want to say that Brandon Stevens and I, thank you, Mom, love you. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Brandon Stevens and I will be representing Mellow Groove Thursday here in Rock Hill at Corks, Cooks, and Books, which is like a restaurant, wine bar, and a bookstore all in one.
There we go.
We're doing our part 2 of our tiny desk over there from 5:30 to 8:30. That's Mellow Groove, which you can follow our Mellow Groove page on Facebook and Instagram. That's all one word, no W. And the chairman of the board will be in Waynesboro, Virginia on Saturday. at the Wayne Theater, actually, for a little holiday live music. Then we will go to Courts, Cooks, and Books Thursday. Friday we're in Waynesboro, Virginia, and then Saturday we go to Atlantic City, Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. But just feel free to go to the chairmanoftheboard.com for all the details. And I'm trying to do this all off the top of my head. I should have my calendar in front of me, but you get the gist of it, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to our pages or DM me, and I'll give y'all to check my page or send me a message. I'll give y'all the information. You heard?
That was it. It was a great show, gentlemen. Troy, don't hang up on us. We're going to catch up with you right behind the scenes.
For sure.
No
ladies
shortcuts.
And gentlemen.
No shortcuts.
Yeah, no shortcuts. Let's do this next week, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, shout out to Smooth Sales. He still got that holiday special going on with the No Shortcuts promo code. Yeah. Shout out to A Touch of Faith. Yeah, she's got some holiday specials going on for your home decor wreaths. Shout out to my mom, the Our Power community, my dad, Praise and Faith Gospel Shop, and our Earth, Wind, and Fire family. Rhonda Kate had you guys here with us today, and our official Honeycomb family. Mellow Groove, chairman of the board and the executive. Juju Lee, Vince Famous,
That's
FMG,
right. FMG. Juan
Velasquez. You heard? Jersey. Shout out to Doc. We'll do it again next week. Peace and love, y'all. We'll holler back.